relationships? Because let's go back to when you first went from DJ and you decided that you wanted to be a producer.
Yeah.
How did you get your first music heard, and who was listening to it and why?
Um, my the trajectory of my career was a little
Strange.
strange. You know what I mean?
Right.
It wasn't like it is today. You know, producing was like only for the chosen few that had the money to buy the equipment back
Right.
then, and you know, it wasn't like this thing how it is. So I didn't grow up wanting to be a producer or anything like that. That's just
Mm.
something that just was a hobby, and it kind of fell in my lap. So, um, you know, when I met people, I definitely, I think once again, my music made more of an impression than
And
anything. I
then,
think my whole
mm,
career, my music has been, y'all don't see me out here all the time. You know, I'm trying
right.
more now to try to do more stuff now. But for the
You're not in
most
the
part,
strip
like,
club like that, or you're not
yeah,
like.
I don't be at all the parties. I'm not on the scene. So my music has always been something, even when it was back to, you know, when we started, I was just sending beats in to 50 and sending beats in to all these people. A lot of these
Mm,
plaques are on the wall with people that I've never, well,
mm,
I probably met after the fact. You know what I'm
right.
saying? After they, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? So,
Right.
you could definitely catch wreck,
Right. Without meeting them.
emailing and stuff like that. You don't have to meet the person at
Right.
all.
But I think your situation was a little different because your first manager was super connected. So maybe tell us
Facts.
about how you met your manager, because I think that makes a big difference for you being able, hey, that's your artist.
Yeah, what's up,
Cherry,
Cherry?
what's
What
going
up?
on? I think it made a big difference that your manager was so influential and so connected. So maybe tell us about how you met your manager.
Yeah, so I went to grad school at NYU. They had a music business program, and a part of that, the curriculum was to have an internship. And my
Mm-hmm.
internship was at Bad Boy, and I worked for the part of the company that managed their producers, the Hitmen, in the scheme of
Were you
things.
good? Were you any good or?
Well, I think my learning curve was a little bit faster because I was a DJ before, and just having a knowledge of what like people liked and how like song structure and the way, you know, 808 should sound, and you know, all that stuff kind of helped me um like take off a little bit faster, or my beats kind
Right.
of got better faster. So
Mm.
the guy I interned for asked me, you know, what I did on the side, and I told him I just started making beats and he wanted to hear them,
Mm.
and I played them for him and he liked them, and one thing led to another where he started sending my music off with everybody else. And
Oh,
then
really? But the
yeah,
Hitman was like the top producers at the time. So you're like in
yeah,
the middle of their stuff.
yeah, they started sending my stuff
Mm.
off for different projects. I remember they wanted a Method Man remix for Bring the Pain. It was like Bring the Pain Part 2. And I made some crazy shit because back then, once again, this was when I was in my really creative, exploratory, like really trying to find my own sound
Mm.
and stuff. So I was
Mm.
making some hot shit back then. Like I always loved how
Like
creative I
a
was. Yeah, no, yeah, back then, like as I go back and listen to it, the stuff I made
mm.
uh 10, 15 years ago was probably, in my opinion, my best work as far as like being
Wow.
creative and
Yeah.
finding beats that were dope and stuff like that. And
Mm.
yeah,
Mm.
not because I wasn't in a box and I didn't have any, you know, I just
Right. You
was
didn't
more
have to
raw
fit
with it.
some. Right. You didn't have to fit a mold or something. Mm. So you.
Exactly. So
Mm.
yeah, so anyway, one thing led to another. They sent my stuff to this girl on Def Jam. Her name was
Mm.
Philae Knight. She was the A&R for Method Man, DMX, and
Mm.
Redman.
Mm.
And she just was the one that really just was getting me all the work. She's just like, stay at home. And
So she heard your work within how many months of them sending it out?
she heard my work, you know, probably within a few weeks, because they were asking, you know, the Hitmen did all the stuff for Bad Boy,
Right.
but they did stuff for other people too.
Right.
So they were like, I think Philae that called, you know, Damon or Fran, the people I was working for, was like, yo, we need something for this Method Man remix. And do you have anything for it? And
Mm.
I was like, Hell yeah. I remember making the shit. You know what I mean? I'll play you that shit now. That shit, it might sound whack now, but.
No. Play us something. Play us some of the early work, like maybe 15 years ago. And some of
the, wait, actually, I want to see this. This was done in 2001.
We're getting
this is for Method Man. This is for Method Man, and it's a remix or something.
this is the early Needlz.
Damn, that was
high
annoying. What? So, but I think at the time though, at the time, you know, there wasn't anything kind of like that. It was like I don't know, my sound back then was a little different than what was going on, and I think that really helped. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a different approach to sampling in general. Yeah.
Somebody says of the companions are saying, "Oh, you're playing us your demos." Tables are turned. They say, "Finally, this is where you get the exclusives. Only at New Skool Rules and Prod by Needle.
Word, New Skool Rules.
Today, let's throw it out there."
Word.
Okay, so your manager really helped you. I think the difference between a lot of other up and coming producers and you was that you impressed the right person at the right time. And then she told you, I remember you telling me in one of the messages, she said, "You don't worry about this. You stay in the house and just create your music, and I'll just go out and get you the placements." What was your first check?
What was my first placement?
Yeah, your first check, like that.
Oh, my first check? It was with the Rough Riders. And it's crazy, I use that same sound. But it was with the Rough Riders on some compilation album. I did 2 songs on that joint. And it was interesting because it was very similar to that sound, which is 20 years ago. Yeah, it was interesting. Literally, now that I think about it, I used some of the same exact sounds in those records. And one song was with Drag On, and one song was with somebody else. But so yeah, those are my first. You know, I got my first couple checks, and it happened relatively quick. So I thought it was going to be easy. After
much was the check though? How did they look? Did they look like big smile?
It was like one check was 5,000 and the other check was 7,500. So
nice.
Yeah, so I started out. That was my rates at the beginning, and it inched up and inched up and inched up and stuff like that. So, so that was how I got my start. And then after that, I didn't get another placement for a whole another year or some shit.
Why? What happens? You were hot. You getting placements.
I wasn't hot. I wasn't hot. Like one song on one album that went
not hot.
Like, yeah, that wasn't hot. It wasn't like no single or nothing like that. So I mean, I felt like I just had to keep working. You know what I mean? Like I didn't get another placement for a while, and shit was rough. Did I get antsy?
Yeah, because I think a lot of young people are up and coming producers, songwriters, artists. They get antsy because it's like, when is it coming? When is it gonna happen? When, you know what I'm saying? Like, when am I taking that next step?
Yeah, my mindset. We're talking about 20 years ago. So my mindset back then, I think it was more like, I don't have no plan Bs. I knew at that point that I didn't want to be an A&R or anything like that. I just didn't have any plan Bs to like do anything else at that time. So I just kept working. I just kept trying. And for me, it was fun. It was really, it allowed me to be creative, and I had an outlet to do stuff. So, so yeah, I definitely, I was broke. You know what I'm saying? I had to hustle. I had to borrow money from my parents. I had to, it wasn't easy. Yeah, and I was a grown man too.
You're like, can I please get some money?
I get some
But it
money.
wasn't also because $12,500 is not bad. So, but yeah, for a year, 1.0, obviously you need some other money.
Yeah, because you gotta pay. You know, I went out there, got a dope ass apartment.
Mm.
You know, my apartment was like 1,500. You know, I
Mm.
thought it was gonna come, so I spent a little bit. Like I didn't buy chains and shit like that, but I definitely
Right. You,
bought some
you
clothes.
did spend some, which makes sense. I mean, if you think
Yeah,
that's how it's gonna go, every month is another placement, then yeah, why
yeah,
wouldn't you?
yeah. Bought some diesel jeans.
So you said you just kept going. You didn't have a plan B. Any other tips or pointers to not get antsy? Because I think what happens to a lot of creatives when they get antsy, they start signing
Yeah,
dumbass deals
she did.
that has them locked in for years. And then by
Yeah,
the time they get hot, there's nothing they can do with their hotness because they're already locked into a super
yeah,
long, 10 album deal that they can't get out
yeah,
of. So what
yeah.
made it in a way where you didn't sign a stupid deal, or did you?
Um, no, I didn't sign a stupid deal. I think I had a great manager who held me down and just kept. She kept talking to me like she really believed in me, and
Mm,
I believed in myself. Uh, I always got great feedback from
right,
people that I played the stuff for, but
right.
I just believed in myself and believed that I wasn't that far off. It's more so about um, being in the right place at the right time, having the right music. That was the biggest thing for me, is just making sure
Mm,
I did my end of the bargain. You know what I mean?
right,
Because it worked
right.
early on. It was like, yo, you stay home, make the beats, I'll get the placements. And I
Mm.
made sure that I held my end of the bargain, and and
And she delivered. She ended up
she
delivering.
delivered. Yeah, she ended up delivering. Yeah, yeah.
Question.
Mhm.
What was your lowest point, and how did you make sure that you got out of that lowest point?
It went from a time where I had a lot of money and then it went broke. You know what I'm saying? This is
Mm.
after this. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is
There was a
after.
second. There was a second
Yeah,
high.
this
There
is my
was a down.
second,
Yeah.
my second moment of like, um, my lowest moment I'll say was this, and this is after some of the G Unit stuff. This is
Mm.
after that shit
Piggy
took
bank
off,
and all that.
piggyback and all that stuff, man. Like
Mm.
I think we did too much. You know what I mean? Like I signed a deal, I signed a pub deal. In 1 year, I built a house,
Mm.
I built a townhouse,
Mm.
got married, and opened a boutique all in 1 year. And it just became too much. And it was just like, I wanted to support my wife and all that stuff. And she had a
Mm.
boutique in Jersey, and I was making beats and stuff, but I just wasn't all like there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, I
But you were
was like, I
spending it
found
like
my
you were there. Mm.
Yeah, but I was spending it like I was all in. And I remember one day I was in her boutique, like selling jeans for her. You know what I mean? I wasn't, you know what I mean? I was like, wait, then I was like, what am I doing? I'm
What
a
is going
producer. Why
on?
am I in here? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
Definitely.
so we had to I was like, you know what? It's drying up in New York. We got to
Mhm.
change, because at the end of
Right.
the day, I'm still the breadwinner. I have the potential to make a ton of
Right.
money. I mean, I know you're making money at this boutique, but I can make more money
Way
faster.
more.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, yeah. Just moving them to moving them to Atlanta from New York was my low point, because
Right.
we were about to move into a house, right? We drove down and we were about to purchase this house.
Mm.
And I remember on our way down on the highway with
Mm.
all of our I think we had a U-Haul, a truck coming down behind us afterwards. We
Mm.
found out on the way down that we had been scammed, and the guy that was
Mm.
like the mortgage broker for the deal or whatever was a
Ah.
scam artist, and
What?
the house fell through. So we had to drive, and I had to tell my wife this, and she was pregnant too. I had to tell my wife
Oh.
this
Oh.
on
Oh.
our way down to Jacksonville, that
Mm.
I mean, on her way down to Atlanta, that we don't have no place to go. So we just kept driving. We drove down to
Mm.
stay with her mother. Shit got better.